when I was 17, I got led by the hand into a new. I was at the doctor's office when I met this girl, and I was more interested in her, but she got me to try something that put me in the hospital. I was, never bashful about poison tasting, so I had a high dose. I had a heroic dose of atropine. No, I did not officially die for religious purposes. People act like I submitted a death record, like they just do whatever they want. Atropine is a heart stimulant, uh, useful for when your heart stops. Not to be confused with atrazine, which is a chemical in fertilizer runoff that turns frogs in Texas gay. Why do we have to use this kind of fertilizer? Well, there's all this undue pressure on our government to make sure everything's nice and perfect for us. What most people don't grasp is that there there's pressure from outside that has no right to exist in God's eyes. Like here is one thing, okay, that one's weird, like not a threat, but for them it's a big excuse. Like and then Washington is forced to compete against uh, cocaine, heroin, drugs, and some of those just grow naturally. So we have to manufacture jets to generate the compounded snake oil that we send to the third world and pay them to take from us for them to compound it, encapsulate it, and sell it back to us. And like, we don't want the messenger of Allah to enslave our children. So we have to sell these crazy pills as fast as possible. And they're just like, oh, they're even crazier. But if you don't persecute, you don't eat. Am I saying legalize cocaine? Well, yeah, that's basically what we're going to have to do. Illegal cocaine poisons college kids. Legal cocaine only poisons cokeheads. I know what you're thinking. Oh, God, how can we trust the people that just gave us a global pandemic from a wet market in Wuhan? Guy ate a bat. Some veteran. Yeah, all right, fine. I'll take the case. Thanks. I got raped when I was 7. So while the other kids were playing doctor, I was, I guess, establishing the foundation for understanding what one is. I can definitely assure you. You know how they call it Chinese medicine? First, do no harm, or you're not a doctor. And it comes, for the most part, it's, it's beyond common sense. It's just natural instinct. Like, who's that over there? See if they're friendly. Do they have any food? Judaism refines that anti persecution to a point where they create kings. And for every religion, there's an inverse, but Islam exploits that. Islam acknowledges no distinction between church and state. So it's always, I mean, persecute or be martyred. If you cannot fulfill the jihad, you're a more fitting sacrifice. And American PR is just not playing with a full set these days. Yes, they pay you to be ineffective. I know you like the job. It's not the law. If 200,000 people starve for us to be in Somalia, it goes to follow they ate our pilots. Is there another official story I'm unaware of? Meanwhile, the Inside Job Edition is over here raping our president. Inside Job Edition. Dr. Ruth was the first TV sex therapist to say penis. And these people's financiers just lost their minds. They had to get in on that. Next thing you know, they got agents over here selling pictures of people coming out of the bathroom for $1 million. The Queen's Black Rod has an important function. I mean, theoretically, if this sort of thing is going on in the English speaking world and the corporation doesn't know how to pivot, it's obviously not designed, to exist in God's eyes. I presume he will know the plot of which I speak right now, or at least understand what I'm getting at. If that position is built to last, he knows what I'm talking about. I've been calling on Inquisitia from Moscow since the beginning of the Ukraine war. This is exactly why he told them not to join NATO. I mean, Templars, obviously, I don't know what they had in mind. It's obviously the gay mafia. I am technically an uncatechized Catholic in a desecrated sanctuary. What are we protesting now? Now we're dealing on a level of, if you, you're either in on it or you don't know how to do your job. In order to avoid globalist, systematically oppressive, godless theocracy, we have to pacify the zombie apocalypse and these antiquated labor laws and just ridiculous approach to intellectual suppression in favor of the god of Poppy maintaining the right to steal our technology and bludgeon us with it. We drink beer, and I know, driving cars, but you wouldn't even have gasoline for one for us. You drink beer too. You just don't know it yet. We have police. Somebody's over here saying we're a different religion all these years. You want to tell me that all the noble houses of Europe would rather see us disarmed than do something about the global caliphate seizing control of the kingdom of the air? The first thing they'll do is the Pope will appoint a king. Frankly, I happen to think it belongs in China, Your Holy Eminence. These lunatics built a Great Wall of Mexico. So, of course, free Tibet. Where else are they going to get one? Planning these abominations among us, what they're doing is creating secret kings, and it creates a mechanism, a chemistry where we have, you're the slave of the prophet or the infidel. But how do we, they're exploiting our national defense by planting international targets just to steal our money. They act like we don't have to do nothing, we just pay for it. So we're different religion. I'm the one that don't trade plants. As long as this resembles some kind of democracy, that's just going to be like a business proposition. Capitalism enforces trade law. These people over here don't get more or less capitalism than these over here. And democracy protects the rights of the minority by universal application of majority rule. So whatever these people want to do to those people, they expect to happen to them too. As a black, Jewish, Mexican lesbian, I find it all very threatening. This protected class system is creating a hierarchy of tyranny